Welcome, welcome. This is Realtor Tech Talk. I am Justin Letheby, the E Professor, where we talk here all things real estate tech. Today's topic is CRMs. We're going to just kind of talk about the basics. We're not going to get hugely detailed, but I run into a lot of questions lately where people are just complaining. They want to know what to pick, what's the right CRM, what's the right thing. And I'm not going to pick the right CRM for you, but we are going to hopefully help you guys identify which one may be the right one for you guys. Jayson, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Jayson Bates, host of a podcast right here in Phoenix, Arizona. So if you're looking to buy or refinance a home, I certainly would love to help you with the financing of that. And you can check out my podcast by visiting my website at www.valleyofthesunrealestateshow.com.
Awesome.
Oh, cool. So,
okay. So what is your acronym CRM? What do you call it?
Man, you just asked me too quick here. Customer relationship manager.
Yeah. Client relationship management, contact resource manager. There's several iterations of what CRM stands for, but essentially, I would agree. I think what the name essentially means is you're having a database that is managing the crucial points of your client interaction. Right? Whether it's transaction documents, whether it's just simple email collaboration, whether it's just quick little high fives to one another, something along those lines can be the basics of CRMs, all the way from a piece of paper. I know of people that had their CRM that were note cards in a note card box, and then it would just flip through them and do all that stuff. To people buying high-end Salesforce type applications. They're all CRMs. They all do what they can. But yeah, essentially to me, the definition is simple. It's just a tool that helps you manage your day-to-day interactions with your clients.
Yeah. And we always are looking for ways to improve our efficiency, right? Time is an infinite not an infinite resource, but a finite resource, right? So having a customer relationship management system in place that can help send out thank you emails, welcome emails, anything personalized that you can do, I think goes a long way. And for realtors that don't have that and want to build a database, I think it'd be very, very challenging to do that on your own.
Can be. But you think about it. What CRM does everybody, whether a small business, big business, an employee, what do they have that they have today? Most likely.
What does the CRM have?
What does everybody have? What type of CRM does everybody have right now? I don't care what they're in. I don't care if they're in business. I don't care if they're in high school. I don't care. I really don't care where they're in. What do they have?
Like an email?
Yeah, I would say email, right? I got Gmail. All my contacts are in there. I've got 250 right there.
Right.
And that's not related to my business database. That's just right there. And most of us, I guess it's not huge. I'm trying to think what the actual stats is, but a lot of us will have something like a smartphone and things like that.
Right.
So if you have a Gmail account or an email account that you can put into your device, you have it at your pocket at all times.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the simplest form. That's not the simplest. Simplest is piece of paper and pencil, but this is the simplest form that's probably available to everybody that they don't even realize.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And, I think here's an important thing, too, that I see that I get from, I get solicited all the time, too. I get emails from realtors in my personal email address, and they're always, market updates or something like that. And there's a lot of companies out there that sell these CRMs that are kind of universally branded. So you just plug in a couple different, your name, address, maybe your company logo, maybe some of your designations, and there you go. And then it automatically does it for you. I'm not a big fan of those, to be quite honest with you. I don't know how you feel about those. I like more of a personal touch to them. If the realtor sets up in their CRM or in a CRM, even if they do their emails, because you can set up delayed emails to people, right? So if you set up your emails for, a week in advance, for example, you can do it that way. It's a little cumbersome to do it, but at least it's like a handwritten letter almost, right? So handwritten letters are a little more personable. People feel a little more connected to them. And when you send out these generic emails on how to make sidewalk chalk or how to bake a turkey or, whatever it is, it just seems kind of cheesy to me. And I've had situations, I don't know if you've seen this, Justin, but I've had situations where I've had two different realtors send me the exact same email.
Oh yeah. No, I get that. I get that every month, at least one time.
Yeah.
Because again, I know enough realtors now. They add me to their email list for XYZ reasons. Although I always laugh at that. Why are you sending realtors? Why are you sending me your emails? Right. I'm a realtor. But that's fine. It is what it is. So you do that stuff and you get that out there, and I get that all the time. I'll get probably because I work and I train with several realtors across the area, and some from Remax, some from Century 21, some from Keller Williams. That's where I'm from. Some from all the bigs, and they all have these automated systems, which is nice. At least something's going out. To me, right. I agree with you. Ideally, I'd rather have something that's a little more you. But here's the thing. Something is better than nothing, right?
Yeah. No, agreed.
So if you're not going to spend the time and try to make this yourself, which is fine, no problem, no criticism, get it. Your job is to be out there selling homes. But if you're not out there doing something, have something. I don't care if everybody else has it. At least you are sending something. Right. Because I was just looking at today, again, I was right before we went online, I was telling you that I was cleaning out 4,000 some unread emails. And I'm looking through it and I'm seeing all these names out here with the same stuff, same marketing. But what I did see is I saw John, Bobby, Amy, Mike. I saw those names. So at least I got to see the names up there. And that's the same concept with postcards, right? People send postcards out. They don't really care if they read them or not, but they want to see that Sally sent them something.
Right.
Be top of mind. So there is some relevance for doing it there. I do agree for the most part. I'd rather not see it be all the same, all the canned. But I do get it, right? There's just some realtors just aren't going to do it, and that's fine. That's not what their number one priority is. But have something being sent out rather than nothing.
Well, here's the other thing too, and this is what I used Realty. I'm not even a realtor, right? I'm a lender, but I used Realty Juggler for a little while to name one here. And yes, I'm not getting paid by them, but they're fairly cheap, and they allowed me to personalize the emails that went out, which I thought. Of the ones that I was looking at, I thought that was pretty cool. And so it also allowed me to embed video into the actual email, which was also one of the things, because I'm a big video guy and I believe in the power of video, and I know you do as well. I mean, even if a realtor just sent out maybe a weekly or monthly email to their database of a video, first of all, you're going to force yourself to make at least then 12 or 52 videos or 12 videos, whatever your frequency is for that particular year, which is a goal that everybody should be striving for. And then that video also can be repurposed and put on YouTube. So it sits there. So I just think having the CRMs that you can personalize and you can put your own personal touches on, I think are a lot more effective than these other generic, I don't know about you, Justin, but when I see an email and there's 500 words on it, it's way too much for me to read. I don't have time.
Well, right. I mean, what's the problem? I mean, email is still it's surprising. Email marketing is still one of the best ventures out there, which amazes me because I just deleted 4,000. I didn't read a single one. I just went through and okay, all right, nope. Yeah. Mass filter, delete all. But the problem is so we're getting spammed all day long with that. So we got to make decisions. What are we going to read? And we're not going to read. Consumers as general aren't going to read the 5,000 email words, the 500 email words, maybe not even the 50 email words, right? It's got to be something that's going to gain our attention and garner our attention. So it's got to be short. It's got to be important. That's why I think Twitter is very important these days. That's why I think Facebook is doing so well. I get to read at my leisure. I don't got to worry about backdating everything. It just goes. And if it's not my timeline, I don't got to worry about it. It's not dirtying up my email. Yeah. So I think there's some value from there, but that's why I like, Realty Juggler has some things you can customize. But that's also, I think you mentioned Realty Juggler. I think one of the other ones that's very interesting right now is BombBomb. BombBomb is a very interesting CRM system because it's all video. Now they do have some canned videos out there to help get you started, but for the most part, they're trying to encourage you to go out and take videos with your phone, with whatever device, upload it and put them in there. And it's going to be more personalized. And even if it is the same thing, even if it's me saying, hi, my name is Justin, you're saying, hi, my name is Jayson, and we're going to talk today about mortgage rates, we're going to talk about mortgage. it's still you.
Exactly. That's what makes it different. I 100% agree with that. That's what makes it different, is that it's you, your personality, your take on things. You cannot duplicate it. So nobody can duplicate you. Right. So it's a beautiful thing. And I even say that with YouTube. Like I was on a kick for a little while, Justin, on not having a website, but having just a YouTube channel.
Sure.
Because then the YouTube channel could have all my videos on there. And then every person that subscribes to the YouTube channel now is in a database. So every time I put a YouTube video on, it automatically emails them, letting them know that I put a video on there. So it's a CRM in itself. Mm-hmm. So, but the CRM also has to do other things. Like the YouTube channel won't do like happy birthdays. It won't do, unless you do a video, of course. But, you're not going to do a video for an individual person for their birthday.
I know of agents that do that.
Huh?
They got I know of agents that do that. They have a little automated system. All they do is put in a name and everything else goes out for them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, in a regular CRM, but YouTube, I don't think has that feature, right? Where you can.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Someone's got a program. It's actually quite interesting. I think it cracks me up. They have a little program that creates a little, like a GIF file, but it's not a GIF, but it's a short little 30-second video. And all they do is change name and maybe a couple of different things to it. And it creates a video in 15 seconds for them. And they can put it on YouTube and send it out. Now, it's not from YouTube, but they can put it in YouTube and send it from there, or they can do bomb or send it to their email.
Oh, that's cool.
It's actually, I don't know what she uses. It's actually kind of neat. I was a recipient a few times from it. It was a pretty neat philosophy. And again, it's video. It's just a little different. Now, again, if everybody does the same video, it's going to wear thin. But at this point in time, she's pushing it, and she's doing something no one else is doing.
Right. So I think a CRM has to go beyond certain things, right? It can't be just video. There's other aspects of the CRM that I think are of importance.
I don't disagree. And you've mentioned this before. We've talked privately offline and stuff. And, CRMs can vary, right? CRMs can be your Gmail account, can be your email. It can be your phone database. It can be anything. It can be as simple as what you have in Facebook. Facebook could literally be your CRM if you wanted it to be.
Totally. Absolutely.
YouTube, if you build enough subscribers, it definitely has a CRM, basic CRM. You're not talking document management and database management, but you're talking basic CRM functionalities. So it can be very simple things that are already being used today. And especially if you followed our first series beginning of the year, you might already have some followers on YouTube and things like that. And you already have at least the beginnings of a CRM, right? It's not something that you can call them on, but they know you, you know them, and you can have a conversation with them. That's, a premise of a CRM. And again, for me, the whole thing for clients or for agents is you got to start simple. Don't try to buy the top producers or the Salesforces of the world, because that's just too complicated for now. Build it up. And then when you have that extra need, that next step, okay, find the next step. But if you have that need for the next step, that means you're also producing enough money to verify that next step.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, because Salesforce, Top Agent, those are expensive, and there's a lot to them. I mean, you need like a college course on some of those just to understand everything that goes on into those CRMs and what they're capable of doing. And they're capable of doing some pretty cool stuff. No question.
Yeah, the first thing I tell most clients for that stuff for CRMs is you got to ask yourself some basic questions right at the bat. The first question is, what's your main reason for having the CRM? Is it just simply having a warehouse for your database? Okay, well, there's tons of cheap solutions for that, free solutions for that.
Right.
Are you worried about document management? Is that something that is a priority for you? Are you worried about communication threads? Are you trying to keep track of all your conversations? Are these things that are important to you? If you start asking yes or no, you're going to start leading yourself down those paths to that thing. And in the end, I think one of the bigger questions out there is, are you running a team? Yes or no? Because if you're not running a team, top producer, real agent, My Red Agent, and Salesforce aren't your thing yet, because you're not running at a level where that stuff is required.
Right.
And that's what those tools are designed for. They're designed for mega groups, or they're designed for team solutions. And they do well. I mean, they do amazingly well. I love Top Producer. I used to be a certified trainer for Top Producer. It was a great solution. But the problem was it complicated? I mean, I liked it. I thought it was fairly easy, but when you try to teach that to people, they're gone. They're just out there. Well, how do I find this? How do I do this?
Right.
And if they're not in it every day, they're going to lose their head again. They got to come back and ask you the same question 2 weeks from now.
Right.
Where, if you have a team, then you have an assistant or somebody designed to be on there all day long. They know how to get around it. It's easy. And that's the same thing with Salesforce. Salesforce is the same thing.
That's what, Salesforce is. I mean, they're Peridot and everything else that kind of attaches itself to Salesforce. Mm-hmm. There's a lot to it. Lead pages, all kinds of stuff that you can create with these things. But that's why I liked Realty Juggler, because it was relatively easy. I mean, $99 a year for the entire year. I mean, that's $10 a month or less than $10 a month, $8 a month or whatever it is. So that was very, very affordable and had a lot of things, and you could customize. And they have a lot of templates. They have the open house flyers and just listed flyers and all the other flyers that you can think of that a lot of title companies are not providing anymore. And some lenders aren't providing them for realtors either. So it's all right there for $99. It's like a beautiful thing. And they even have an extension for Chrome. If you're on a Chrome browser, they have an extension on Chrome. I don't know about Firefox or any Apple stuff, but it's relatively pretty easy and inexpensive. And you can create a team and do all kinds of stuff in there. And like I said, it allows you to embed the videos. I just thought that was a very cheap, inexpensive way for CRM.
I don't disagree with that. I think Realtor Juggler fits that nicely. I think also another one that it's probably about 10, maybe $15 more expensive per year is a tool called Wise Agent. Same thing as this, but it's designed at the agent level, right? It's designed for the interaction and simplicity. It attaches itself to Gmail. So if you have a Gmail account, it makes life beautiful.
Yeah.
And those are some of the things that you got to pay attention to, right? You got to figure out what you're trying to do. But again, if you don't ask the killer questions right off the bat, you're wasting your time anyways, because if you don't know what the main purpose of what you're doing, even at $10 a month, it's too expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If all you're doing is trying to have a place for collecting names, and that's all you care about, well, then, you just got done talking about Google Forms. We'll create a Google Forms and you already have a database of names at that point in time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's simple, right? You have a spreadsheet inside there. It's a cloud-based application that goes with you wherever you want to go. You're done. You don't need to worry about the rest of that stuff. If that's all you're worried about, if all you need to do is have a place for collecting names and collecting leads, well, then fine. Don't worry about spending $100 a year even, because you're not going to use it all. And then you're going to get frustrated with a good solution that didn't fit your needs.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So if you don't know what you're using it for, stop. Create a spreadsheet.
Yeah, exactly.
Use your and then worry about the rest later. Because I do think everything we've talked about so far is important, right? It is important to have some sort of messaging tool inside your CRM. It is necessary to have some sort of document solution inside your CRM. It is necessary to have some sort of transaction management inside your CRM from a real estate perspective. But if you're not ready for that yet, you're wasting a lot of money. I don't even care if it's $1 a month. You're wasting a lot of money.
So what do you suggest then for realtors? What are some of the basic CRM tools that you need to get kind of started? So if you're looking at you're not quite there at the Salesforce level, you're not quite there at the, higher team level, just an agent starting out, got a little bit of a database, maybe 50, 100 people, sphere of influence, that sort of thing. What are some suggestions that you have for that agent?
The first thing I'm just going to ask them serious questions. What do you want? What are you? Well, first question I want to ask them is who's your office, and what tools are they using today? Because excluding some very small boutique offices, most offices have a CRM system in place already, and you might as well use what you're paying for instead of trying to buy a third-party system. And if they actually have that, I'm going to ask them one other specific question: what don't they like about that CRM? Right. Because a lot of times you can ask them what they don't like. It'll lead you down to the next tool, what they do want to have.
Right.
But I think the primary things that a real estate agent should be looking for in any CRM right now, minimum, and this is just baseline level. This isn't trying to get to the high end producing agents, big hitter type stuff. You need to have a database collection. I would like to have a communication thread inside there that links those conversations together so we know what's going on. I'd like to have basic database entry solutions where I can add interactions and comments about that person so I can keep notes on that person. And then when we start getting to the next level of things, I'd like to see it be, now these are optional, but I'd like it to see it have some customization ability so people can customize the emails. But I'd also like to see some document management and transaction management solutions in there, because that just keeps everything together in a nice, clean organization so you don't have to go bouncing around. But those last two are the last things that I push for. I just want a nice, solid database that has communication tools. That's really what I'm looking for.
Okay. So,
for beginning agents, for baseline levels.
Okay. So communication tools are now, a lot of these CRMs too, don't they have a function or feature that you can pull in, like say your Facebook friends, or
some do, some do
pull those in, and that way you're not having to, do some data entry into these things?
Well, yeah, but you always gotta be careful about that, right? Because two things could happen. One, you gotta be careful about a couple of things. If some of it's marketing law 101, right? You can't just put people in and send them on a flyer without asking permission to put them on an email list.
This is true.
And if you pull that names from Facebook, you never got permission. So Facebook sometimes will let that stuff come in. Sometimes they won't, depending on what the API is and what the conversation is. So you always gotta be very careful about that. But the other thing that happens is there are certain people out there, and it doesn't happen a lot, but it happens enough to make your database not useful, is some people will turn their privacy filters way up. So if you bring that information in, you may be lucky to get their first name.
Yeah.
And then you have a database that is messy again, right? So I'm a big fan. I recommend a couple things in the database. One, I recommend a yearly cleanup. Just kind of go through and check, make sure everything's clean.
Yeah.
And I usually recommend a quarterly backup.
Yeah.
Because you want to make sure if you change companies, you lose your database, XYZ happens, your company changes CRM solutions, you have an ability to do it quickly and easily. So I recommend a quarterly backup.
What about what are your thoughts here on MailChimp? I
love MailChimp.
Yeah, I use it. I use the free version. I think it's up to 2,000 names. I mean, that's like crazy amount of names. Or no, 2,000 emails, I think, per month, I think is what it is.
Yeah, you're not going to hit it. You're not going to hit it.
I do.
But again, if you do, they can upgrade it or you can go to the next level.
Yeah.
And the thing that I like about MailChimp, now it doesn't have some of the optional features that I think are out there, but what I do like about MailChimp, I use it right now for my email flyers.
Yeah.
Is it has my database. I can pick the fields that I want to have entered, right? Maybe all I'm worried about is name, last name, and email address. Right. Or maybe I'm worried about name, last name, phone number, and email. Maybe I'm worried about address. I can decide what I want.
Right.
I can create my own lists in there, which is nice. So I can basically create my own groups that will let me put things in certain groups. So, my open houses, I can send people to that, and then I can move things over. So I have the ability to customize my list and customize who's in them, which is nice.
Yep.
The other thing that I really like about it, and I didn't mention as part of the requirements because I think it's an optional field, but I like it from a real estate perspective, is it has lead capture forms. Right? I can create forms on the fly and put them anywhere I want.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
Again, you're right. It's free, up to 2,000 emails a month.
Yeah, I mean, the word free for realtors and real estate, I mean, that's a big word for us, right? And so having something, because we get bombarded all the time. Hey, spend your money here, spend your money there. Hey, do this video. We'll do this, and this in marketing, and holy cow, I mean, just nickel and dimes you to death. So finding solutions that meet our needs or meet your needs for on the cheap is that's like music to my ears.
I agree. There's only one downfall I have it from a real estate perspective, and we're kind of going to go back on what we just said earlier. The only thing I really have a downfall with it is there's no automated campaigns in there, right? And what I mean by automated campaigns, MailChimp has created nothing for us to send out as a flyer. We got to create everything ourselves.
You mean like templates, or you mean like?
I'm talking material, content.
Yeah. One of the things that I do, and I don't know if you can do this or how this would fit into your thing, but for my podcast, I created an RSS feed for MailChimp. So every time I put out new material on my podcast, MailChimp picks that up and sends out to my database saying, hey, Jayson just put out a new podcast.
Yeah, there are automation tools in there, and I like the automation tools. What I am talking about is like Top Producer has, 30 pieces of material, 50 pieces of material a year that all I got to do is I don't got to write it. I just send it, right? Salesforce has got certain things like that. Aweber's got certain things like that. MailChimp is everything I got to create. It's got to come out of my head.
Yeah.
Whether I'm pulling it from my blog, whether I'm pulling it from whatever, it's got to pull it out. And again, I'm not against that because, as we said earlier, original content is going to help. Yeah. But again, from a realtor perspective, a lot of times that is a big challenge. They don't want to have the ability to or desire to write that material themselves. So for people that have that challenge, MailChimp is not going to be the right solution for them.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I think it's a great tool. And I think for the creative folks and the people that have that effort and energy, you can do amazing. Because again, you create automation. I can create an open house form. Once it comes into that open house form, they can get 4 emails throughout 4 weeks, right? I can create that automatically, goes through, and I don't got to think about it.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of automation in there, but there is no automatic content that's out there for us to pull from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you could pay somebody probably, right? You could pay a virtual assistant or go to Fiverr.com or Elance and have them write 15 marketing materials, right? Pay them X amount of dollars. And you could do that, which is an easy enough solution. But there's nothing there original. That's something I just want to make sure people understand. There's no already created content, because dealing with realtors a lot, one thing I realize is they don't like to spend that time. They will if they have to. They just don't want to spend.
That's strange to me, man. I got to be honest. That really, I tell myself I got to wake up every day and reinvent myself, right? But for some reason, a lot of realtors don't look at it that way. They want to wake up every day and sign a deal. It's like, well, you got to reinvent yourself to get that deal.
Well, here's the reason why, though, right? You guys have some conferences that are specifically mortgage companies and things like that, but there's not as many that exist out there that are real estate, right? In real estate, I can go to my convention, my office convention. I can go to the state convention. I can go to the local convention. I can go to the national. I can go to a convention almost every week throughout the year if I really wanted to, right? And all those conventions have one thing in common: a vendor that is sponsoring that event. That will sell me all day long. Right. So I go there all day long from a selling perspective, and I got people that say, "Oh, I can do this for you. I can do this for you. This is easy. I can do it for you." And a realtor's going, "Great, bring it to me." So we're getting conditioned to sit there and say, "Well, it's already out there. I don't need to create it."
I know,
and they're right, but I think they're also wrong at the same time.
And that goes back to what we were saying before. Realtors who rely on other people to create their content are kind of missing the boat.
I agree completely.
That's on the MailChimp thing and saying, okay, well, if you got to create your own content and you don't want to do that, what are you kind of doing? I mean, what exactly is your goal here? Because if you're relying on everybody else to create your content and you just want the deals to fall in your lap, it doesn't work that way.
I wish it did.
Yeah, right. I mean, you got to go. People do business with people they like. And so you have to create this content that people like. And, like you said earlier, if you create the same content that somebody else does, but you have a different perspective on it, people are going to gravitate to you, certain people, and certain people aren't. And the ones that aren't, you don't want to do business with anyway. So
exactly. Well, you're trying to build with all this marketing material. You're trying to build know, like, trust. I mean, that's what you're trying to do, because the only other way to do it is a handshake and a hug, right?
Yeah.
So you got to do this. You got to do this virtually, so to speak. And so you've got to find ways to do this. And original content is going to be the best way to do that. And again, we've said this 1,000 times since we've started doing this. Video, I think, is going to be the best solution for that.
What's going to happen, Justin? What's going to happen when you can integrate in, we've talked about 360-degree video and stuff like that. Think about when video really kind of starts to morph into a CRM. We talked about iJot. We've talked about some of the other, video VMails and stuff like that. CRMs and getting 360-degree video, I think at some point are going to cross paths.
I think you're already starting to see that. Again, you got BombBomb trying to be that.
BombBomb. The only thing I have with BombBomb, Justin, I love BombBomb. I love its platform and all that. It's a little expensive.
Oh yeah, completely agree. But the problem with BombBomb is I don't know if you can make it cheaper, because one of the biggest problems you have with BombBomb is the infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
That video has to go somewhere, and video still isn't compressed. You can't compress a video.
It takes a bus.
And then rebroadcast it to such a level where it's not grainy, horrible, and ugly, right? You can compress it, but as soon as you try to uncompress it to play, it's crap.
Right.
So their infrastructure is such a price point that you can't do it. Now, if they can find ways to eliminate that stuff, I think they could drop the prices quickly, but it's just too big. And that's the same problem you have with Matterport. Matterport's expensive because the infrastructure costs are just too high. Right. But I think one of the things that you have with there, I don't think you'll ever see video become a CRM. What I do think you will see is you'll see companies like BombBomb find how to make that integrated so it seems like they're together. Right. Yeah. They'll work with MailChimp, or they'll work with top producers and say, look, hey, we got this stuff. You do this, we'll do that. We'll API in and it's done. Yeah. Right. I think that's how you'll see it happen.
That's what I mean. I'm not saying that video, because video is kind of, unless it's live video or something, it's kind of history, right? Or it is history, right? Unless it's live. Right.
Which is also with the live video. That's another way. It's a good point with CRMs, because that's another huge CRM solution right now.
Yeah. I mean, these sort of things that are developing we don't know what we don't know, right? But I think that live video and live streaming and this 360 degree, and then you got 360 degree live streaming coming to the forefront. I mean, you really can have a virtual open house across the world. And by having that as your base, and then having a CRM being able to capture the people that come look at the video, wherever you're posting that out, whether that be on YouTube or something like that, and being able to capture those people. Maybe they have like a little sign-in sheet that they have to click on a button and give their email address or phone number in order to view your content. That's where I'm saying I think at some point they're going to start to cross paths with video live streaming and stuff like that. There's going to have to be some kind of integration. It's kind of like this, right? I mean, we're doing live streaming right now on Blab. We can see people coming into the room. We can call them out. We can identify them. We can see their Twitter account. We can, connect with them on other platforms and things like that. This is kind of a CRM in of itself, although you're doing it's not automatic. But you at least you're able to contact these people who enter the room and then recontact them after the show's even done.
Yeah, I agree. And you are right, because you can do it through Twitter and you can do it through Facebook advertising. You hit your sphere from that way, people that know you. The only thing that I don't like about that from a CRM perspective, because one of the things I don't like about this is the only thing I don't like about this particular version of a CRM is it has everything I want, except there's one thing I don't have. I don't have the ability to export out the database so I can repurpose that information for the ways I want to repurpose it, right? I can't export those names out to another place in case Blab goes bye-bye, right? So if Blab goes bye-bye, those 100 people that I built relationships with aren't there anymore.
You connect with them on another sphere.
Right. And you've got to do that then, right? And I don't got a problem with that, right? I don't have a problem with trying to make those relationships. We've done that, right? I talked to Greg privately. I've talked to Michael, done different times and done different conversations that way.
Yeah.
And the only reason I would have met him is from here, which is a great CRM solution. Right. But, there are limitations to making this CRM. And that's the same thing with YouTube. It's basic. If YouTube would stop, although there's very little likelihood that would stop, I'm more worried about Blab dying than I do YouTube.
Right.
That I worry about losing that database, because if you lose it, now you got to start over again.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I have with some of these solutions, as making them. I wouldn't make this my only CRM. I'd make this as CRM part B or CRM part C.
Well, you bring up an interesting point too. Talk about, you mentioned, realtors using the CRM or the system that their company may use. How transferable is that database then? Because a lot of people, I think, fear that you put that in the company's database, it becomes the property of the company, not yours. So,
well, there's two things you got to pay attention to with that. The first one you got to pay attention to is whatever contract you sign and what rules you agree to, right? There are companies out there saying, if you put that in here, it's mine.
Yeah.
And there's even people who say it doesn't matter if you don't put it in there. If that lead come through here and that transaction comes in here, when you leave, that name stays with me.
Yeah.
So you got to understand the contracts that you're signing with your real estate brokerage or the team that you're signing on. That's number one. Number two, if they are somewhat ambivalent about that stuff, it's easy. There's always an export function out there somewhere. And all you got to do is hit the export key, save it as what's called the CSV file, comma separated value, and then now you have it in a spreadsheet format. But if you're worried about that, then what you do, as long as you're not breaking rules with your brokerage or your team, you keep two databases, one online, and then once you get that name, you always put it in a spreadsheet somewhere or somewhere else that way.
So, okay, so let's talk about now too.
And Zapier might be able to do that a lot of times.
Yeah, Zapier's. I just discovered that this week. I think it's fantastic. Kind of integrates in with Google Sheets and Google Docs. It's kind of
Yeah, it does very well. I use IFTT a whole lot more than that. I got to get better with Zapier because they have a lot more fancier functionality. But if you do that, sometimes you can just import names into one location and it populates into 2 different databases. You got to back up automatically.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Google Forms and Zapier, you build your own. You can build your own squeeze page. Okay, so but let's talk about LinkedIn because I think that's a service that is a little misunderstood, in my opinion. I think if I was a realtor and I connect with anybody on LinkedIn, always, I don't care who they are, clients, whatever. So it's not just a professional, although it's kind of branded as a professional. When you're dealing with somebody on a professional level, well, then LinkedIn is that purpose. So as a realtor, if I'm representing a buyer or a seller, I want to connect with them on LinkedIn if they're on LinkedIn. That would have been my thought process.
I don't disagree. I mean, again, some of the things, and that's where you hear the new acronym social CRMs, right? And that's what you're kind of talking about with LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. They're more of a social CRM solution. Where I don't disagree. I try to, when I generate leads, I search them out, and if I find them on certain places, I'll friend them on LinkedIn, a friend them on Facebook, friend them on, whatever I can friend them on.
Yeah.
There's a tool called, where's it at? Where's my Gmail account? What's it called?
Jonathan just entered the room too. He has I think it's MailRite, Jonathan. You can type it in the thing or join us if you'd like, and tell us about your CRM. But I think it's called MailRite, I believe. So I think he has a
his own
CRM.
Yeah, the Reportive, you can add Reportive as an extension, and in Gmail, you can see all their social connections.
Yeah.
So you can print them right from there, and that's what I love to do.
And that's using, Gmail, and then what would say that one more time?
It's called Reportive. It's an extension you can do from either Firefox or Chrome browser.
Uh-huh.
And basically on the right-hand side, instead of having stuff on the right-hand side, what you see is all their social linking information.
So when you connect with somebody on Gmail, it shows you where they are connected on their social media.
Yep, as long as their email address is where they link from. So as long as that email address is linked with LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter, you'll see it.
That's good. That's a good one. It's link in the chat there.
Well, it's just Reportive.
Oh,
I don't have it. If you go to Chrome extensions and search Reportive, you'll find it.
Okay, cool. Well, hello, Jonathan. How you doing?
Hey, no, great. Thanks, guys. How you doing?
Good. I know you have a CRM, right? You
It's not really a CRM, really. I avoided going into that area a little bit. It combines email functionality with social media, with reputation promotion in one product.
Okay, so break that down for us.
Yeah. Basically, it's in 3 major parts. Our main purpose is to help the agent with keeping in touch with people that don't know them in the community. They're not buyers that are buying right now or sellers that are selling right now, but everybody else in the community that knows you. It's about helping you keeping yourself in front of them. And what we do is we provide a really easy email system, and we write content which the agent or mortgage broker can send out. And we provide a selection of stories that turn up the first thing of every month, and they can choose one of those stories, edit it, change it, but they know they've got content that's ready to go out, right? And then with the social media, we provide a calendar system, and we provide content in that system for the whole month. And you could edit that content, move it around, add to it, change the day, change the time, add your own content. It's a scheduling system. And finally, we provide a reputation promotion system, which is really cool. And basically, you can import a list or add individuals one by one, and you can send them an email, and it asks them, will they review you? And it takes them to a screen where they can review you. And if it's a positive review, it will then send them to a number of different review sites, and then they hopefully will leave a positive review.
So it sends them to like Yelp or some of these other places?
We give an interface, and you can select where they're going to be sent to.
Okay. All right.
It's all customized, and we provide the intro story, the text for the initial email, but you can edit all that as well. It's all editable. You can customize it.
So your platform allows the agent to kind of change the format around, but you supply a lot of the articles, news stories, whatever, and then they rearrange it how they want it to look and appear, and then they send it out to their database.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
That's about it. Well, at the end of the month, you got, with email marketing, like most things in life, it's about doing it at the same time, month in, month out. But we're busy, so we don't do it. And you get into the day, you've got to send something out, and there's nothing in your mind, and you're just running out of time.
Yeah.
We make it easy. And with social media, we provide a scheduling system, and you go into a scheduler the first of the month and it's empty, and you think, oh my God, I've got to find stuff to fill this up.
Yeah.
And we just give so much, and we suggest that you supply so much of your own, and we mix it all up. You've got the shuttle button where you can plan it, and then you click the button and it shuttles it all. And you haven't got that blank scheduler feeling. We help out. And reviews are really important, aren't they? But most people aren't very proactive, and it's hard to ask somebody, ring them up, I want a review. So we send out this system, and next month, everything I've described to you, we're going to be adding video functionality. So you'll be able to send out every element. You'll be able to send video out. You'll be able to add a personalized message to the emails, to the reputation, and you'll be able to add email to the social media calendar as well. Record it and add it.
What's the cost? What's the cost of your system?
$34.
$34 a month?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not too bad. That's especially having all that functionality and somewhat rearranging and having the video in there. We were just talking about video and how important we feel that is, and personalizing the CRMs or the emails that you send out.
Yeah.
We feel that video is, even if you're talking about the same subject, your perspective on there means a lot to certain people.
Yeah, we just see it. I've got to be honest with you. The one thing I've got to make totally clear at the 34, it's curated content, and everybody gets the same content.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not too big a fan. I mean, contact is contact, and there's no disagreeing with that. You got to put something out there. But I'm not necessarily a fan, because I get emails that are from different agents, but the same content and just a little bit different branding. And so if I'm a consumer, I may not take that as seriously as if somebody were to personalize it for me.
Yeah, it's curated content. I must, at that price at 34, it's curated content. We have a next level out where they can choose either the email or the social media, where we provide more individual content. And that's around the $60 a month. And then we got one higher than that, where we also run Facebook advertisement campaigns for the agent. That's the last one, but that's around the $120 mark. So for $34, we suggest you edit the content, and that's why we're adding the video. Everything we supply, you can edit and add. And we think that's the best route. We provide content, but we always say to the agent, spend 5 minutes editing it, personalizing it a little bit more.
Yeah, this whole notion for agents, in my opinion, of just set it and forget it. You can't do that. You've got to mix it up. Even if you set it, you got to go in at least once a month and kind of mix it up a little bit. At least I feel that way.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, but I'm not going to lie. You know, I'm here to make money,
Of
and
course.
if an agent doesn't want to do it, doesn't want to listen to us, there's not much we can do about it. You know, I can tell you, I send out a personal email newsletter for my other company, and I write it. It takes up a whole morning. It takes my whole morning to find articles, even to find articles, and then write an intro.
It takes work, Jonathan.
It takes me the whole morning. It takes me one morning a month.
Do you write a book, or do you write just one paragraph?
I write the monthly article that goes on the website, and then the intro. But actually finding other people's articles that I think would be useful, helpful, actually takes a morning up.
No, you have to do the research. But here's what I say, you know, for agents who do this and take the time to do that, it makes you a better agent. So if you're going to, you know, I have to do that for my podcast. I have to do the research. I have to stay up to date on things. So there's part of research that goes into creating good content, and good content has to accompany a CRM. That's just the way it is. It's not, hey, forget it, set it, forget it. It just doesn't work that way, in my opinion. That may work for a little while, and like we were talking about before, Justin had mentioned, some contact is better than no contact. I agree, but at some point, you start to affect your reputation that you don't care when you have content that isn't genuine to you. And
well, I totally agree with you. It's a bit like on our social media product. Basically, the curated content, it's news of the industry of the real estate industry. We're trying to position the agent as being somebody that's actually got the finger of what's going on in the industry, but the materials we select aren't so, I'm trying to find the right word here, so focused on kind of internal industry tittle tattle. It's about industry news, but somebody outside the industry would hopefully find it interesting. That's what we supply, and then we highly advise the agent to mix that up with local information, what's going on locally, and then they click the shuttle button and it's all shuttled up. And then they can move stuff around manually. And I think I would say it, but I honestly believe it's a really cool system. Like I say, with the email side, we all say, you should go in and customize it and try and make it more individual. If they do, great. If they don't, but there's nothing on our website that says we don't give the impression, or hopefully we don't give the impression that you can just set it up and just leave it. I'm sure that some do that, but I totally agree with you. They're not going to get the benefit. Yeah,
it's a waste of time then at that point. Well, thanks for telling. How do people get a hold of your, or where do they go to?
If you go to mail-right.com, I know it's been a bit of advert, but you did ask. But
information here, Jonathan. It's all good, man.
Yeah. Or they can contact me at jonathan@mail-right.com, and I'll be happy to give a demo. Well, we're still in kind of semi-beta. We've just started to take our first paying clients. But like I say, in next month we'll be adding video to everything, because that was one of the things.
Let me ask you this here, Jonathan, real quick. What separates your platform from others? What is unique about your? And then to second that question, what are some of the mistakes that other CRMs make that you feel that you've solved?
Like I say, I don't think it is a CRM.
Okay.
I think in the market, I think there's about 4 that I think are superb. Is it Follow Up Boss? I think the best is Follow Up Boss myself. I think
Follow Up Boss is good.
I think that's one of the best ones I've seen. There's another one, I forgot its name. They don't specialize in, well, Follow Up Boss, they don't totally specialize in the real estate industry. There's another one, I forgot its name, begins with P, just amazing product. And there's a couple of others. That's a highly, I think you would, in 2016, to enter that market, unless it was really something so slick, so compelling, you would find it hard. We're about curated content. We're a creation company, and we supply in an interface. So we give we productize curated content. That's what we do. That's what we always do. We provide content for specific industries.
Yep.
And either we provide totally curated content that's shared by everybody, semi-curated, or we can provide fully materials that are just written and developed just for you. But the more individual, the more the price goes up.
Right.
Because the more we have to supply just for you, somebody has to, who's educated, who understands the industry, knows you, understands your voice, the more that price goes up.
So you don't consider your business a CRM?
No, we're creative.
Okay.
We provide creative or content. That's what we do.
Okay. So providing creative content for databases, for realtors, brokers, whatever, that's kind of your niche. You're not there to send out happy birthday cards or something like that.
No, it's all online. And I've got nothing. I think some people are saying, sending the occasional card now because nobody else is doing it. It might be a good idea. No, that's my intellectual interest. Curated content. Can you automate it to some degree without it becoming totally valueless? Can you keep some value but also offer other options that at a price range that somebody could consider it?
Well, the fact that you're still continuing to grow that and putting video and integrating video in, I think that's a huge step. Justin and I have talked about that value and some of the customizable things that I feel a CRM should have, even though you don't have a CRM, you don't consider yours to be a CRM. A lot of CRMs don't have that customized.
Well, it's a really difficult one, this, and I like your thoughts, both of you. I've spoken, it's agent product. It has some ability to be used by a broker, but I've spoken to some brokers and they've shown me some systems where they provide the website, the back-end system. They're looking for a player that provides everything. And I said to one broker, I said, I understand why you're doing that, but be aware you could end up with a jack of all and a master of nothing.
Right.
And I think if you're looking for, I don't know how you would improve on Follow Up Boss, really, if you've ever used it.
I've never used Follow. It's Follow Up.
It's a solid tool.
Follow Up Boss.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I've never used
What do you think, Justin? I think it's got to be a pretty good system to beat that one.
I think it's a solid device. I like it. As always, pricing is a challenge for that, but it's worth it. To me, Follow Up Boss is designed for real estate. It's designed for lead conversion, and they have various tools in place for tracking leads and keeping things going on. It does a real good job. I don't think it's necessarily CRM either. What I think this tool is more of a lead conversion solution and lead cultivation. And I think it does an amazingly great job with doing that. People that have used it and have bought it have done amazing things with it and have grown their business quite substantially. And if you're going to start a brand new website, I'd be putting it in there.
Yeah, the price is certainly not cheap, is it? I wouldn't say it's expensive either. But you've got to be serious about what you're trying to do if you're going to pay for it, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, the cheapest you're going to pay annually is $119 a month.
Yeah. Didn't they? I thought it was a little bit cheap. I thought they did another one for Soul, and it was around 70 and 80. Or am I wrong about that?
Well, I think they. Well, here's what I know. I know they were talking about that. I have never seen it come live.
Right.
Now, they could have tried it out, and I hadn't got hit on it because I'm not trying to do that conversion strategy anymore. But I know you're right. They had conversations about doing an agent solution and not a team solution. I just have never seen that come through.
Yeah, and what's he? Chris Smith and his crew. I think that's what they provide in their package, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's one of their key tools that they supply when they take over doing the marketing for a brokerage or a power team. So I don't think he would use it if it was a total heap of crap. So
he's been a big advocate of Follow Up Boss, and it's a solid tool. There's nothing wrong with it. But I also wouldn't call it a CRM because I think at the end of it, you really need it to be something else. CRM to me is more of a tool that you're using to manage a lot more than just the conversion of a lead or the cultivation of a business. It's the conversation, it's the note taking and the transaction information of that stuff. It's a lot larger than just trying to convert. Convert is important because if you don't convert, you got no business anyway. Right. But CRMs, I just think to me, the word CRM is just a little bit more robust than like Follow Up Boss. Follow Up is lead conversion and cultivation.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Yeah. So which ones am I at the end of this comment? Which ones do you recommend then?
I've used Salesforce. I like Salesforce, although it's complicated. It's not the easiest system. I've also used Realty Juggler. I like that one, even though I'm not a realtor. But I liked it because I could customize it. I can embed videos. I could do other things in the email, set frequency of emails that go out. You know, when the birth date is in there, it automatically sends out the birthday email, and then all I've got to do is attach the video to it. And so I liked it for that purpose because it was customizable. These other ones
and the affordability
weren't very good.
No, I know of it, but I've never used it.
It's Salesforce I'm using now, and it's good. I like it, but it's almost too much. And not necessarily for realtors. You know, there's so much to it, and it sounds great, but there's so much to it, I'll never use it. It's kind of like some of the, people buy smartphones, but then they never use the full capabilities of the smartphone. They just use it to talk on. So it's just one of those things, Salesforce. But my company provides that for me, and they integrate it in where we can actually take the application right in Salesforce. And then that integrates over to our LOS system, which is our loan origination system, that then you can, run DU. And so that's the problem with a lot of the CRMs is that you have one system, at least for mortgage brokers and bankers, you have one system that you originate the loan in, and then you got to take that information and transpose it over into a CRM. And that marriage there has always been a very difficult one to get that information to transpose over. So then you got to do a bunch of data entry into, and people get busy, as you said, Jonathan, and they just don't do it.
Well, you're pretty tech savvy, both of you, and I'm not being disparaging. I try to keep off negativity if I can.
This is April Fool's, so if you're
I'm English. I do struggle at it, but I do try. I do try and keep off it. What I've seen about a lot of agents, unless they had a lot of training, they would struggle with something like Salesforce.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
They would really.
I'm kind of tech savvy, right? And then marrying that with Peridot and some of the other things that it offers, and it is a struggle. There's no question about it.
What about another one I looked at is Contactually.
I've never heard of that one. Never used it.
Yeah, I put the link in the chat room.
Yeah,
I've looked at that one. I thought that.
Yeah, Contactually is pretty nice.
Yeah, I like that one. I've looked at loads. I'm trying to find some links because I've looked at loads of them. There is, when you really delve in, there are some really clunky ones, but and of course,
It's actually pretty nice because there's some flexibility with it. You can add some functionality to it. It's actually not a bad little tool.
The whole sales pitch is to, set it and forget it. Like I keep on going back to that phrase, but when you, like Jonathan or Justin had mentioned earlier, we're all J's in here. I just now realized that. But when you mentioned before, Justin, about the whole, when you go to a real estate convention, it's sponsored by somebody and, hey, we'll do this for you. We'll do that for you. You don't have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about that. That gets a little kind of, I think it gets a little lost. Like you're saying, that realtors get conditioned then to not have to do anything. And
I don't got to worry about it. All I got to do is this.
Yeah. And that's not real estate. Real estate, you got to work, man.
It's not any business.
Yeah, any business. You got to work.
It's not anything out there, but we all want things done for us. And there's certain automations you got to get done. But the thing is, I think you got to pick which one makes the most sense for you to do. What aren't you good at, and let that system do it for you.
Right.
Yeah, I think
maybe it is to marketing.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic advice. I think no tool. It's just a tool, isn't it? It's not gonna
solve huge problems, or I guess I don't know.
A saw ain't gonna make you a carpenter, is it?
No, it's not gonna make you a carpenter.
Let's be honest about it.
I can't cut in a straight line.
No, but that could. I can't either. I can program, but I can't saw.
Exactly.
But I'm trying to find this other one that really impressed me. I got it bookmarked. That's what I'm doing, folks. I'm trying to find a bookmark for the. There was another one.
My bookmarks too. Funny you mentioned that. I was looking through my bookmarks on one, and I couldn't find the one I was looking for.
Desperately trying to find it because it's a really good. I was really impressed with it, and the price. It was $12.
Well, that's Realty Juggler, right? Realty Juggler, and I keep on going back to that's the cheapest one I found. It's $99 a year.
Yeah, I was shocked at the price.
$99 a year is super cheap.
Yeah, it depends, but you've actually used it, haven't you?
Yes, I've used it.
I found it.
A lot of functions on there that I don't use, like commissions earned, has where you put renters in, and then when they want to purchase, it has some different functionality to it that I just don't. It's not for me but I'm not a realtor. But I used it for its sole purpose of being able to customize the emails the way I wanted them to look.
Yeah, I've just found it. It's a product called Pipe Drive. I'm going to put the link in now.
You found one I haven't heard of.
There's so many of them. We can't true, but
Drive. That sounds like we should be smoking something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they're based in Estonia, one of the Baltic states. Really smart people. I've asked one of the founders to come on my WordPress show, and they're talking about it. They're thinking about it. But I was they do a kind of they do a landing page that's specifically on real estate. But I looked at this and I was kind of blown away by it.
Yeah, no, I'm reading it now.
But I haven't used
free trial there for a little while. How long is that free trial?
I don't actually know.
Yeah, $12 a month right there. Start
30 days.
30 days. Yeah, 30 days. That's good. That's a good solution right there. And that's what Justin was kind of alluding to earlier too in the conversation, saying, hey, look, find out what your needs actually are, and then go to the CRM that's going to satisfy whatever those needs might be.
Yeah, but I haven't used it, so it could be a heap of crap, but it looks good. And the documentation, and I looked at more the technical side, their API system, and that was well worked out. And I think they got some traction in Europe. It's a European-based company, but I did download it and play with it for an hour, and I thought the interface was quite snazzy. So, yep. but I thought for $12 a month, try it for a few months. You're not going to. I think it's month to month.
Right.
I don't think you're going to lose much, are you? Well, apart from the time you see, that's the other thing. You really, I've found I don't know if you agree with that, Justin. There's some systems that some people really like, and you just hate. You just, you just think, well, when you said Salesforce to me, I just cringed because I've had to do some work, some API work with Salesforce, and I just hate the system. But it's just my personal bias.
Yeah.
But you sound like you quite like it now.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it does everything. Not that I use everything. It's a little overkill for me. But it does do everything. I mean, and their support is really good. I mean, when you call them, they'll walk you through, and you can actually get a hold of somebody, and they'll do a screen share and all that kind of stuff. So their support is really good too.
There's what's the reality? Everybody in the top performer,
top producer is probably the most common.
Top producer. I always say top performer. Yeah. I've looked at that, and I just think it's a really cranky bit of rubbish myself.
It's actually, I don't disagree with you. But what I think that tool stands above is it's great from a huge, like a team perspective, right? If you have an agent that knows it wants to be a CRM person and be the admin of an office, that tool is going to stand out. Right. But from an individual agent or a small team or the learning curve perspective, it's high. It's very high.
Yeah, I think that's the other. My product. You'd be amazed, and I'm not trying to be disparaging, but you'd be amazed the amount of agents that don't even have a list. We actually help them. They do have a list. It's in their phone. It's in their Outlook, but they haven't actually sort. And then we have to help them about which of these people are hot and which of these are the people that you just want to touch.
Right.
The people that are looking right now, I would suggest to you, need very different sort of handling and materials than the people that are not actively looking.
Right.
Now, sending the next hot property that's coming up to a group of people that are not actively looking, I don't feel is the most appropriate way of touching them.
Yeah, no, it's not. No.
Also, sending them a card about the next Christmas recipe is also not the most effective way in 2016 of keeping in contact with them.
I agree. What do you feel about because you do a mail format too? What about like send out cards? Are you familiar?
No. Well, there's 3 to 4 really excellent. When I went to the Californian Real Estate Expo last summer, there was 4 or 3 companies did excellent services around that, and I didn't really see the point apart from a partnership possibility, which I haven't really gone down, but I should do. There's already 4 or 5 players that specialize, and they seem pretty good actually.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up the recording part of this. Yeah. So, but I'll hang out for a little while. Justin's got to get going, but I think we ought to.
I actually got to go set up an agent CRM. Funny enough.
Yeah.
Which right?
Which one are you going to set up?
Well, I work for Keller Williams, so we use Market Leader. So it's Market Leader that we're going to be doing.
Yeah, that seems, it's another one, isn't it? Yeah. That I looked at, and I thought that looked pretty good.
It's really the problem is it's Market Leader's solid. The only real downfall for that, it's based in the Access database program SQL. So the robust of it and the growth of it's really kind of limiting a little bit. Yeah, but it's solid. It does what it needs to do.
That would be when you get to a certain size. That would be a problem, wouldn't it?
Yep, and we're running into it because it's a Keller Williams program, and we're running to a size issue. Well, hey everybody, thanks for doing this. You guys are going to stick around and listen to the other 2 J's while I check out of here. Today was a great discussion on CRMs. Next week we'll do another one at 11. I'm not really sure what it's going to be. It might be Twitter 102, especially if I can get Greg to check in with us. So that's where we're going to go from there. Find me at eProfessor of Real Estate. That's where you can find all my online material and my courses, trying to get you good with some of these tools. Jason?
All right, cool. Hey, I'm Jayson Bates. You can check out my podcast or reach out to me by visiting my website at www.valleyofthesunrealestateshow.com. realtorswhich.com. If you're looking to purchase or refinance in the state of Arizona, I would love the opportunity to earn your business. Cool.